Have you ever wondered why some elderly people radiate joy and wisdom while others become bitter and isolated? The answer lies not in their bank accounts or their health, but in a 2,000-year-old philosophy that could transform your final chapters of life. In the depths of our twilight years, a profound truth emerges, one that the ancient Stoics understood centuries ago. The quality of our final chapters isn't determined by wealth, status, or even health, but by the company we choose to keep. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and your thoughts depend upon the quality of the people you choose to surround yourself with. Time becomes increasingly precious as we age, yet many of us unknowingly poison our remaining years by tolerating toxic relationships that drain our vital energy. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught us it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Today we'll explore how this ancient wisdom can liberate us from the chains of destructive relationships, even when those chains are forged by family bonds. The wisdom of the Stoics reveals a counterintuitive truth. Sometimes the most loving act we can perform is to distance ourselves from those who claim to love us, but whose actions spread negativity and chaos. Modern psychological research, conducted at Harvard University, confirms what Seneca knew 2,000 years ago when he said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." Their studies show that toxic relationships in our senior years can accelerate cognitive decline and increase mortality rates by up to 50%. As we delve into identifying these 8 types of toxic individuals, remember that this isn't about judgment or revenge. It's about preservation of our peace and dignity. The Stoic practice of emotional intelligence teaches us that we can love people from a distance, maintaining our compassion while protecting our tranquility. This knowledge has transformed countless lives, and by the end of this journey, you'll possess the wisdom to ensure your golden years truly shine. The first toxic archetype we encounter is the emotional vampire. Those who feed on drama and crisis, constantly seeking attention through manufactured emergencies. Research from psychologist Dr. Albert J. Bernstein reveals how these individuals can raise cortisol levels in elderly companions by up to 40%, directly impacting heart health and sleep quality. In the words of Zeno of Citium, man conquers the world by conquering himself. Yet these individuals refuse to take responsibility for their emotional well-being. Next, we face the chronic critics, relatives or friends, who have mastered the art of subtle degradation, cloaking their poison in concerns about our best interests. They question our every decision, from financial choices to daily routines, gradually eroding our confidence. Epictetus reminds us, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. Understanding this truth helps us recognize that their criticism reflects their own insecurities, not our worth. The third toxic presence is the boundary breaker, those who refuse to acknowledge our right to privacy and personal space, often justifying their intrusion with age-related concerns. Modern gerontologist Dr. Sarah Mitchell's research shows that elderly individuals with strong personal boundaries report 60% higher life satisfaction scores. Ancient Stoic Musonius Rufus taught that true freedom is available to those who learn to be content without what is beyond their control. Even more insidious is the guilt merchant, masters of emotional manipulation, who weaponize your past decisions or current circumstances against you. They specialize in phrases like, "After all I've done for you," or, "At your age, you should know better." These emotional predators directly contradict the Stoic principle that Marcus Aurelius emphasized. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. The fifth toxic presence we must guard against is the time thief. Those who show no respect for our schedule or energy levels, demanding attention at their convenience. They fail to understand that at our age, energy management becomes crucial for maintaining quality of life. Modern wellness expert Dr. Elizabeth Chen's research indicates that unnecessary social drainage can reduce cognitive function by up to 30% in seniors, as Seneca wisely counseled. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Perhaps most dangerous are the comparative competitors, those who constantly measure their life achievements, health status, or family success against ours. They transform every conversation into a subtle battle of superiority, creating an atmosphere of constant judgment. The great Stoic Marcus Aurelius advised, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." This reminder helps us maintain emotional distance from their competitive games. The seventh toxic type is the chronic pessimist. Individuals who have mastered the art of finding dark clouds in every silver lining. Recent studies from the Oxford Institute on Aging demonstrate that regular exposure to pessimistic individuals can decrease life expectancy by up to 5 years. As Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. The pessimist's worldview directly contradicts this empowering principle of Stoic philosophy. Finally, we confront the control enthusiast, often a well-meaning family member who believes their age or relationship gives them the right to dictate our choices. Dr. Marcus Thompson's research at Yale's Center for Aging Studies reveals that autonomy in decision-making is the single strongest predictor of happiness in our later years. The Stoic philosopher Cleanthes reminds us, "Fate guides the willing, but drags the unwilling." Living with wisdom means recognizing these toxic patterns early and implementing protective strategies without sacrificing our own virtue. Modern psychologist Dr. Rachel Anderson discovered that elderly individuals who maintain healthy boundaries while practicing compassion show remarkable resilience against age-related depression. This perfectly aligns with Epictetus's teaching. When someone does wrong, their wrongdoing is their own punishment. The art of detachment, as taught by the Stoics, becomes our greatest ally in managing these relationships. It's crucial to understand that setting boundaries isn't about building walls, but rather about creating healthy spaces for growth and peace. Research from the Institute of Geriatric Psychology shows that seniors who master this balance experience a 70% improvement in overall life satisfaction. As Marcus Aurelius counseled, accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. The modern interpretation of Stoic principles offers practical strategies for maintaining these boundaries. Dr. William Harper's groundbreaking study reveals that elderly individuals who practice selective engagement, choosing when and how to interact with potentially toxic individuals, report significantly higher levels of life satisfaction. This approach honors Seneca's wisdom. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate these people from our lives entirely, but to master the art of emotional distance while maintaining our dignity and compassion. The latest research in positive psychology confirms what the Stoics knew centuries ago. Our peace of mind in later years depends largely on our ability to manage relationships wisely. As Musonius Rufus taught, it is not only the material things that bring trouble, but also the people who enter our lives. The ancient Stoics understood that true freedom in our final years comes not from controlling others, but from mastering our own responses to toxic behavior. When we embrace this wisdom, we discover that setting boundaries isn't an act of rejection, but rather the highest form of self-respect, and paradoxically, the purest expression of love. As Epictetus beautifully concluded, a wise person does what needs to be done without drama, like the earth brings forth its fruits, quietly, naturally, and with dignity. Let us carry forward this timeless wisdom, knowing that our twilight years can be our most peaceful and fulfilling when we choose our company wisely. Modern research continues to validate what the Stoics taught centuries ago, that emotional freedom leads to physical vitality and mental clarity well into our later years. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, which ring as true today as they did 2 millennia ago, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. By protecting our peace from toxic influences, we don't just survive our golden years, we thrive in them, leaving a legacy of wisdom and strength for generations to come.